Footprinters, Chrissy here again. Again with a different setup. I grew up in North Queensland from the time I was about 7 or 8, and so I grew up with what we call cyclones down here, and you call them hurricanes in the northern hemisphere if you're in the northern hemisphere. So Hurricane Dorian it was predicted to pass over Florida and possibly go into the Gulf of Mexico. Now it's predicted to swing up the coast of Florida, keeping off the coast all the way, but up the coast of Florida, North and South Carolina. Even though it's not predicted so far to hit land, of course the eye isn't predicted to hit land. It, those states are still going to get caught with a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and king tides. I don't wish destruction on anybody's property. I don't give a damn about Trump's properties. I don't give a damn about Mar-a-Lago and all that, except in the fact that if those properties got destroyed, people could lose their jobs and things. So when you wish for a destruction of something like that, a lot of blameless people can get caught up in it. So you might not give a damn about them, but you don't actively wish destruction and all that. But I thought I would have a look at this hurricane and just the king tides and the tidal surges are going to, because it's hitting with king tides. There's king tides along the southeast US coast this weekend. So I am thinking about everyone who's in its path and who may be affected about it, and I wish for only no loss of life and damage that can be repaired. No total destruction or anything, and you're not going to be able to avoid damage, but you can hope that it is as minimal as it can be and that nobody loses their life. So let's have a look at the next few days for those in the path of Hurricane Dorian. Predicted to be closest to the coast overnight tonight in the US, and during the course of the day later on in the day. It's early morning in the US now, so, and late into the afternoon. So it's Sunday here, so it's still Saturday night in the US, so over the course of Sunday in the US. So let's have a look at what tomorrow's going to bring. We might have a look at, do an overview spread for that. So, 5 of Wands, grounding. People, it's going to be tough, and people are going to have to tough it out, and I think there's going to be some conflict come about from it, because as always, when you have people in government who aren't there for people, their responses to disasters, as we've seen, aren't necessarily the best. So, the centre card, tradition, tenor disc, legacies. People are basically worried about their homes and their families. In this case, this is the tenor disc in the best way. Their homes, the families, everything they've built up, they're worried about it. And as they should be. There's a huge force of nature coming towards them. Thank God nobody listened to Trump wanting to nuke it, because that would have just made things so much better. Yeah, so this is the focus. This is the focus for all those people in the path. You know, their homes, their family, everything they've worked hard for. Current influences, of course, is the star. They're hoping that they've done as much as they can, and they're hoping that this will pass with no loss of life and as little loss of property and business as possible. What's above it? What does everybody want to think about? Those who can, they're walking away from, they're evacuating basically, they're leaving the area. If they've been told to, getting to higher ground, and yeah, so people are thinking about that at the moment. That's what's in their mind. Are they going to have to evacuate? Where will they go to? And everything, all those things that come in with the warning that you might have to leave your home to the mercy of nature. The near future for everyone in the path, the Knight of Swords change, of course. Knight of Swords can also represent chaos and change. It's going to create a lot of chaos, and it's with king tides and all that, there's going to be some changes along that coastline that may take years to repair, or the change could be permanent. You know, some places could get swept into the sea. I can remember with the 1998 floods in Townsville, just north of Townsville, a whole settlement there at Black River was just swept into the sea. That whole area of coastline was changed permanently, and 30 houses swept into the sea. Okay, what's underneath it all? What people don't want to think about? They don't want to think about getting the news that they have to leave. That would be hugely disappointing to a lot of people if they have to leave everything they own, everything they have, and evacuate. They don't want to think about receiving that news. Okay, and but again, they are thinking about it, but they really don't want to. So they're preparing for it up here, but they're trying to not to think that they will have to do it. They're prepared to do it, but they don't want to have to, and that's what they'd be very disappointed if they have to. The recent past there, of course, is delusion. There are always people who think, oh, I can handle this one, I can sit this one out. Yeah, it's nothing. I'm big, I'm tough. You know, it's nothing. They always delude themselves about these events and that they're nothing really, and they can tough it out. This is a category for hurricane. The only higher category is a 5. I've seen the damage that can be done to a 5 by a 5. And I've seen the damage that can be done by a 4. I've seen the damage that can be done by all categories, actually. It is nothing to laugh about. It is nothing to fool yourself into thinking that, oh, we can tough it out. No, if you're thinking that, you're being total idiots. It is a huge event, and it is compounded by the king tides. The next step, it's going to be harsh. There's going to be a lot of loss with this, unfortunately, as much as people hoped. There could even be loss of life, which I sincerely hope does not happen. But this is the Ten of Swords. This is the long dark night of the soul. In this one, it's called Disillusion. Anyone who thought that they would be able to tough it out, they're going to be sorely disillusioned. There's going to be a lot of damage. and there's going to be a lot of change. People are going to have to face up to a lot of loss. It's not, unfortunately, I think that even though it's not predicted to cross the coast, the eye itself isn't predicted to cross the coast, it is going to be close enough to the coast. Of course, it's going to be affected because it is still within the range of the cyclone, the reach of the hurricane strength winds and everything, and there's a king tide. There's going to be a lot of flooding, there's going to be a lot of erosion. I think if your houses are really, really close to the coast, close to the beach, there's a possibility of a lot of losses of properties like that. I hope to heaven that nobody loses their life, but there's the possibility of that. Of course, there always is in such a situation like this. We can only hope for the best and prepare for the worst. That's the best thing you can do with a cyclone. And if you're told to get out, please get out. Okay, because if people have to go in and get you, then they're then put at risk. So, and this is just for general anyway, any sort of natural disasters. If you're told to evacuate, please don't hang in there, because then people have to come in and get you, because that's, especially as they're first responders and emergency workers, that's their job. And yes, and having been in a volunteer emergency service, I've seen the aftermath of having to go in and recover people up close and personal, and it's not nice. So, and the effect it has on people is very hard. So anyway, enough for my health and safety lecture. Please send all the best thoughts and wishes to everybody in the path of that hurricane, and we'll wait and see what happens. Okay, Foot Princess, I love you all, and I'll see you at the next reading.